started. Hey. Well, hello, everybody. I am so happy that you are here and that I can share a different level of health with you. Mind, Body, Mouth has been my baby for years, and it has been evolving from very simple dental hygiene to health coaching to more intuition and spirituality, and how all of those things combine for a holistic approach to your health and to your healing. And so, this Intuition Unlocked workshop, I thought was the best way to bring the whole body to yourself, because even though I help people with snoring and sleep apnea, sometimes that's the first step people need to do in order to get the results to move on to their best life. But for other people, we actually just need to really figure out what it is that we want the most. And so sometimes we have to go within first. So everybody's journey is different. We all have a different time that we're getting started with things. And I wanted to put that out there. And there was no one better that I could think of than actually a previous client who has seen the work that I can do. And I'll kind of let her explain that. But before we get started, I'll let you know who the Michelle is that I know now today. So, hello, Michelle, first of all. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this information and giving back to my community and even more. So, Michelle Connery is a health coach who helps people tune into their bodies and align their lives in a way that supports real, lasting well being. So, after a successful corporate career that eventually led to burnout, sound familiar? Yeah, Michelle realized that true health isn't pushing harder, it's about alignment. So that realization led her to study the deeper layers of healing from the physical and the mental to now the emotional, spiritual, and energetic. So today, Michelle guides others to understand how these five dials, so aspects of our life, like physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and you might not have heard this one before, super mental. So it's how they work together to create lasting well being. Her approach, it blends practical strategies with intuition and self-awareness to help people tune into their bodies and create the lives that feel grounded and fulfilling to them. In today's session, Michelle is going to share something simple yet very, very powerful, as your breath can help you connect to your body, and it can help support your health, and it can strengthen your intuition. And as you know, I help people stop snoring. I help people breathe better because breath is life. And Michelle is going to show you how to get the most out of it. So, with all due respect, can I pass the mic to you, Michelle?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tiffany. This is amazing. And I'm super excited to be here today. As Tiffany mentioned, I was a former client, definitely been a mouth breather for as long as I can remember. I say it's still a work in progress. Some nights are better than others, but at least I am now aware of it and working on it every day. So welcome, everybody. I'm so excited that you're here. As Tiffany mentioned, we are going to talk about breath, but there's so much more we're going to talk about as well. So if you don't mind, I'm actually going to turn my camera off for a little bit. I've got a bit of a slide deck. I'm going to walk you through it. If there's questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we're going to have a little bit of fun here because I want it to be interactive and I don't want you to be listening to just me drone on all night. Okay. All right. So just give me a second while I get myself situated here. I need to bring up my deck first. And
And then, yes, let me know if you can share your screen. One of those things that we didn't test prior to. It's
we
just so
did
much more fun
not, did
chatting
we?
together.
Okay. So first things first, let me just I'm going to share my desktop. Okay, so it looks like you can see my desktop, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now to find my presentation and move everything out of the way while I'm doing it because Zoom likes to put everything up over what I'm trying to do.
I know the little block is always like right in the way.
It is, it
Oh,
is, it is. All right, so
well, you are getting ready. I just thought I would pop in and say hello to someone who just joined us there.
perfect.
Um, Katie, it's lovely to have you here. And for anyone else who joins, I'll pop in and just say a quick little note that this is interactive. So as we go through, Michelle may have questions that she's gonna ask you to consider and perhaps put some questions out there. You can unmute yourself and ask, or you can write it in the chat and I'll be monitoring the chat. But we would love to have this interactive so that way you can get the most out of this event.
Yes, that would be awesome. Okay. And sorry, I was just trying to change my screen here so you can see money, but it's not working. Okay, so Tiffany, I'm just gonna let you tell me what everybody's doing because I'm flying blind right now.
It's also nice that you don't have to think about what's going on as well.
Yeah,
You can stay
yeah.
focused. And yes, I will definitely let you know if anything pops up into the chat.
Okay, perfect. So our my intention for today really is to have some fun. I'd love to share with you the overview of foundations in health because it's more than what most people believe it to be. And then we're going to dive into how our intuition works, along with how your body sends you signals. And hopefully, by the end of it, you'll be able to walk away with what your next step might be. Okay. So I know Tiffany told you a little bit about me already, but I thought I'd go just a little bit more into my story because I believe that might help you get to kind of understand why I'm here and what I do. So, as she mentioned, I wasn't always a holistic coach. I did spend 20 years as an accountant climbing the corporate ladder, spreadsheets, deadline, high stress, constant pressure, and working through the holidays was the norm for me. And to most people, it looked like success. But on the inside, I was barely holding it together. I was exhausted. I had trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, and my mind never stopped. It was constantly thinking things like, did I do this? What about that? What if this happens? You get the picture. I was a workaholic. I had headaches, stomach issues, unexplained aches and pains, food allergies that started popping up, and like clockwork, every spring and fall, I'd come down with bronchitis. But I kept pushing through, thinking it was normal, just the price of being busy, ambitious, and successful. But then the pandemic hit. And the day that the Premier of Ontario announced that the province was shutting down, I collapsed on the floor in my living room. I was sobbing, my whole body was shaking, and I couldn't hold it together any longer. My entire world came crashing down. I was scared and completely overwhelmed. My family had already moved to Newfoundland and I was still in Toronto. And I remember thinking to myself, what if I never see them again? Add on to that, it was year end at work. So it was already stressful. And now we had to figure out how to do it all remotely with systems that were not designed to do remote. Add to it a new toxic boss, and it was no wonder that I was burnt out. And in that moment, everything I've been pushing down for years came flooding to the surface. And I knew right then on that floor that something had to change. I realized I didn't want to live like that anymore. And at the time, I didn't know that my body was trying to get my attention. All I knew is that I wanted the exhaustion, the stress, and the constant pressure to stop. My life didn't feel like my own. During my climb to the top, I had sacrificed my health, my happiness, and my joy. I had lost Michelle, and I needed to figure out how to find her, how to heal her, and how to show up unapologetically as her again. And let me tell you, that did not happen overnight. It's taken time, space, and a lot of unlearning. But as I've started to heal, I've begun to see things differently. Those symptoms, the exhaustion, the overwhelm, the aches, the pains, the anxiety, they weren't things to fear or to silence. They were my body's way of communicating. I just hadn't learned the language yet. It's taken me years to start understanding what my body was trying to say. And I'll have to be frank with you, I'm still trying to figure some of it out. But over the past year and a half, I've learned a lot about all the different layers of health and how it all works together. And the deeper I go into the work, the more I realize that most of us only focus on a few pieces like food, water, and exercise. But there's so much more to it than that. And that's what I want to share with you tonight, how your body is always communicating and how these foundations in health support that process. And when you start paying attention to what your body's telling you, it becomes your best guide for what it needs next. So there are 8 foundations in health that all work together to help you thrive. We're going to start talking about those right now. And I'm just curious if anybody wants to take a guess at what some of the foundations in health might be and drop it in the chat box. We'll just give you a second. Tiffany, if you want to.
Yep. Okay. Yes, I put sleep, and we have Katie saying sleep and stress.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You mentioned the food and the water and the exercise,
Yeah.
of course. So that's
Yeah. Yeah.
taken
There's
care
3
of.
clues right on the screen there for the 3.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. So great. So we got it. We got some of them. So let's just go into the first 4 here. So in order to survive, we need nutritious food. So that's food that gives your body the vitamins, minerals, fats, proteins, essential amino acids that it needs to function. Clean and filtered water. So every cell, tissue, organ, joint, and system in your body needs water to function properly. And if you're not hydrated properly, so you could be overhydrated or underhydrated, it will create imbalances in your body. Then sunlight and sleep. Hands up if anybody knew that those two actually go together. Do we have any hands up, Tiffany?
I'm gonna put my hands up.
You're gonna put your
Um,
hand up.
I
Awesome.
know that. And you know what I'm not very good with is reactions right in here on the screen for everybody. Okay, so that's where it is. The react button if you're on a computer. I don't know about on our phones as well.
Yep.
You can go ahead and you can put reactions. So I'm gonna put off like a big we got a thumbs up,
Yay.
and I threw out some things there.
Awesome.
So, yeah, if you
Cool.
want to do a quick little spiel on that, I'll leave that up to you, but I'm going to pause myself.
All right, sure. So sunlight and sleep. So without daily sun exposure, your hormone cycles that regulate your sleep-wake cycle will actually become dysregulated. And the sun also supports your immune system and also supports tissue repair. So you really do need the sun. It does directly impact your sleep. Um, I recommend at least 15 minutes of sun every day, even if it's cloudy. We do need to get outside so that we can start regulating those sleep hormones. Exercise and movement. So, this basically, it doesn't mean you need to go run a marathon, but you do need to move your body every day because movement is life. When you stop moving your body will choose to decline. And movement also supports your detoxification and your immune systems. So those first 4 are what keep you alive. But I don't think any of us are here to just survive, right? Again, thumbs up, put an emoji or
Mhm.
something in the chat box if you're actually ready to learn how to thrive.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Awesome. All right. So if we're ready to thrive, we're going to go into the next 4. And Tiffany will be happy to see that in order to thrive, We need deep and rhythmic breathing. So I liked my little lungs there. I thought they were cute. So your lungs, in addition to bringing in oxygen needed for vital functions, they're also one of your main detoxification sites. And we're going to be circling back to breathing because that is kind of our focus for today. So I don't want to go into too deeply into it right now. I just wanted to finish the other three first. So release pathways, and yes, that is a poop emoji. Okay, guys, we do need to talk about poop sometimes. Uh, your body's and your release pathways really are your body's physical ability to release waste and toxins, and it's key to maintaining your health. And a fun fact that sometimes when you get a headache, it can actually be a direct result of being constipated. Because when we're constipated, we're not releasing the toxins, and instead they get reabsorbed into your body and can trigger headaches. One thing I didn't know, but it makes a lot of sense now. Release pathways are also related to you being able to release emotions as you feel them instead of storing them in your body, and also the ability to move forward through things also falls under this foundation. Community and deep relations. So this could be anyone in your circle of influence that you have a meaningful relationship with. So it could be family, friends, a partner, coworkers, a women's circle, community group, etc. And then the last one is spirituality, and I've also included beliefs here because this is your connection to something bigger than yourself, whatever that might mean for you. And it's your deeper sense of inner meaning and purpose that acts as your inner compass. So, like I said, each one of these is like a dial on the control panel of your well being. You can't just crank one all the way up and expect everything else to fix itself. So, for example, you could eat all the kale you want and still feel awful if you've been holding your breath all day or spending your nights doom scrolling instead of sleeping. So, So the key here isn't about perfection. It's about tuning into your body and letting it show you what it needs next. We generally start with one or two small shifts. We implement those shifts for a couple of weeks. We check in with the body to see how it feels. And then we ask the body, do we need to adjust another dial? And that's really what this is all about, learning to listen. Your body is constantly communicating. You just have to be willing to slow down and listen. For me, one of the clearest ways my body started speaking to me was through my breath. As I mentioned, I did hire Tiffany to help me with my mouth breathing and also my shallow breathing because I didn't actually realize how I was breathing. You know, most of my life, I never thought twice about how I breathed. Sorry. Honestly, I figured if I was still standing, I was breathing. But once I started paying attention, I realized my breath was shallow, tight, and rushed, and it was keeping my body stuck in stress mode. So I'm curious, when was the last time you checked into your breathing? Are you breathing through your nose? Is your breath shallow or deep? So I'd love for you to just take a moment to check in and drop in your chat into the chat box. How is your breathing right now? Awesome, Tiffany. Nasal and slow. Love it.
Definitely throughout the day, catch myself really paying attention to my breath. Not that I'm over breathing and not that I'm anxious, but when I get frustrated with my children,
Mm-hmm.
I focus on my breath before anything else. Sometimes I react first.
Yeah.
But my goal is always breathe first. And
Yeah.
so I'm definitely a slow breather now. Anytime I go to a practitioner's office, they're like, take a couple breaths, and I feel like I have to speed up my breath just so they can do whatever test they want to do on me.
Well, that's awesome. That's a good thing, I think. All right. So Here's the thing, breathing isn't just about oxygen and carbon dioxide. It's actually how your body regulates your nervous system, supports your detoxification, and connects how you feel physically with what's happening around you emotionally and mentally. So, when you're breathing deeply and rhythmically, your body gets the message that it's safe. And that's when healing, clarity, and intuition start to all come online. But when we breathe mostly through our mouth, a few sneaky things start to happen and they have a ripple effect through the entire body. First of all, your body's or your mouth's pH will change. The saliva will start to become acidic. Okay. So this isn't just about dryness or bad breath. In your mouth, the saliva actually starts to break down your food. So if the pH of the saliva starts to change, then it's not going to be doing its job properly. So the food isn't going to be broken down properly. And so when it hits the stomach and the intestines, they actually have to start doing more work and work harder, which results in your body may start feeling sluggish. Your digestion starts to slow down, and your body may struggle to absorb vitamins, minerals that it needs to survive. Like I said, it keeps going. The more your digestion works harder, the more it burns through energy just trying to process what you've eaten. And that's going to leave you with less energy to move, think, focus, be creative, socialize, or simply just get through your day. Now, if we start to layer on chronic stress on top of that, the constant flight, fight, freeze, or fawn response, the digestion is going to slow down even more. Because when your body thinks it's in danger, it's going to prioritize survival. So energy gets redirected away from digestion and repair and towards dealing with the threat. So if you've ever felt bloated, foggy, exhausted, even when you're eating well, it's not your imagination. Those are real symptoms and signs. Your body's way of letting you know it's overloaded and it needs support to come back into balance. And when your body's been running on empty for too long, that imbalance doesn't just stay in your mouth. It's kind of like dominoes. You tip the first one over and the effects keep rolling down. So your digestive system starts to work harder, as I mentioned. Your liver can start slowing down. Your kidneys will step up and start to help even more. And before you know it, you're chronically exhausted, you've got brain fog, you're catching every cold that comes around, et cetera, et cetera. So as you can see, everything in the body is connected. When one thing is off, there are multiple cascading effects that can happen, which is why we always come back to the foundations in health and start with one or two small changes. Evaluate, see how the body responds. Okay, so now that I've done all that, I actually need to take a breath.
And actually, that came up really well because I have a story
Mm,
about this fits in so perfectly. But a lady that I was working with, she actually, because she was mouth breathing from a child, she had the overgrowth of her upper jaws. So one of those smiles where we see gums and everything, like that gummy
mm,
smile. She was so self-conscious about it. She would not go out and eat with her friends and even her family because when she breathed through her mouth while she was eating, she just made so much noise and it was embarrassing. She'd always be covering it up.
mhm,
And after she worked with me, she was at the table and her 13-year-old daughter said, "Mom, you're not bothering me. You're not annoying me with how you eat right now." And like your teenager, like you don't want to
yeah.
hear things from your teenager, but when your teenager is actually like, wow, I'm not embarrassed to go in public with you anymore. This lady went out to a restaurant with her family after years of not eating it. At school lunches, she would leave, she wouldn't stay for lunch. She gained a social connection after that. She built up her
Amazing.
confidence, not to mention all the other things that compound, like you said, by making
Yeah,
slight changes in
yeah,
how you
yeah,
operate daily. It was
yeah.
like
It's
a cry
amazing.
thinking about her. It was
Yeah,
actually lovely. I've forgotten about her story until you put this together and reminded me.
yeah. Well, that's an amazing story. Thank you for sharing, Tiffany.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. Yeah, and it's amazing once you start slowing down and figuring these things out, you really see how everything is connected. Okay, so now we also need to talk a little bit about the nervous system piece. So when you take shallow breaths and you're breathing through your mouth, it's a signal to your body that you're not safe, that there's a threat, right? And so it's going to keep you stuck in that stress loop, which, as we discussed, can cause domino effects, and you can start having issues with sleeping, your hormones, brain fog, exhaustion, etc. And for me, what I found, it also caused anxiety and panic attacks. In fact, one time I actually drove myself to the hospital thinking I was having a heart attack, and it was a panic attack. Thankfully, it wasn't a heart attack, but yeah, it was really pretty bad. So if you thought you were doing all the things right, like eating healthy, drinking water, moving your body, and yet something still feels off, this could be one of the missing links. Because when I started practicing nasal breathing, I started noticing a subtle but powerful change. My body started to relax faster. My mind started to slow down. And I could actually feel when I was tense instead of realizing it hours and sometimes even days later. And here's the fascinating part: when your body calms, your awareness sharpens. It's like turning down the background noise so that your intuition, that quiet, knowing voice, finally gets a chance to be heard, which is really cool. All right. So, after all that talk about breathing, I think it's a probably a good time to pause and for all of us to do a little bit of breathing together before we get into the next section, which is all about our intuition. So, this is going to help to prove to our bodies that we actually know how to breathe and to tune in to listen. We're going to do some box breathing. For those that haven't done box breathing before, we're going to inhale through our nose for a count of 4. We're going to hold for a count of 4. We're going to exhale for a count of 4, then hold for another count of 4. We'll do one round together where I'm counting for you, and then you can do 3 more rounds on your own. So before we begin, just take a moment, settle in your chair, get your feet flat on the floor, get comfortable. Keep your camera off if you'd like. And I invite you to place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And close your eyes. And I'm going to walk you through the first set. As I said, it's a 4-count box breath. Before we begin, just exhale whatever's in your lungs right now. And let's begin. So we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now continue on your own for 3 more rounds. And as you breathe, see if you can feel your belly rise under your hand as you inhale. Let those shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Feel your belly lower as you breathe out. And just listen to your own breath. And when you're done, bring your breathing back to normal. Slowly open your eyes and take a second to reflect on how you feel. And type one word in the chat box telling us how you feel And so that I know that you're ready to move forward. Yay. Relaxed. I love seeing that, Tiffany. Anybody else? Ooh, body feels longer and I feel more at peace. Tiffany has somebody with her who has a racing heart. Do they need to do some breathing? Okay. So now that our bodies are calm and our minds a little quieter, we're going to start talking about our intuition. Intuition is actually something that's already a part of you. But even though most people don't think they have it or don't know how to access it, it's always been there. People tend to think of intuition as something mysterious or out there, but it's really just your five senses turned up a few notches. Everyone has it. It's not a special gift, it's actually a skill. And the more you play with it, the stronger it gets. So when you start tuning in, your intuition can show up in different ways. It could be seeing, knowing, feeling, hearing, tasting, smelling. And these are often referred to as clairs. I'm going to go through the different clairs for you so that you can start to figure out which might be your dominant clair. And as I describe them, make a note of any that resonate with you. All right. Cool. Thanks, Katie. It's magic to me. I love it. Awesome. All right. So the first clair that we're going to talk about is clairvoyance, which is also known as psychic seeing. So this is seen in your mind, rarely with your physical eyes, although it could also be seeing things out of the corner of your eye or having your vision pulled in a particular direction. It could be visual thoughts, images. Some people see many movies, symbols that pop into your mind. It can also be vivid dreams, memories, seeing signs and symbols. So if you're always seeing 111, 222, yes, we are alchemists. I love that, Tiffany. Clairvoyance can also be seeing auric fields or energy. Some people are able to see future or past, so think of visions. And people who love to organize and decorate spaces, people who love color, visual artists, they tend to lead with clairvoyance. All right, clairaudience, so psychic hearing. This is heard mostly in your mind, although sounds can be picked up occasionally with the physical ears. It's when words or phrases or song lyrics pop into your mind. It could be whispered guidance, like hearing your name or other words being called when nobody's around. It can also be described as buzzing or ringing, popping, and chatter in the ears. You can also receive messages through songs or other audio media. And music lovers, musicians, singers, and people who listen professionally tend to lead with clairaudience. Clairsentient, psychic feeling. So these are body sensations like goosebumps, butterflies, pain, discomfort, aches, heavy and light feelings. This is where you're picking up on somebody else's physical illness or disease, picking up on their pain or physical discomfort. You could pick up temperature fluctuations. You can also experience and feel emotions and picking up on mood shifts of yourself or others. And just a note that the feelings could be mental, emotion, and or physical. All right. So the next one is claircognizance, so psychic knowing. It's when you receive sudden insights or information without any logical explanation or prior knowledge. So you've heard of people saying, oh, it's just a gut feeling or mother's intuition. It's where you just know what you know, but you don't know how you know it. It's an awareness or of ideas or answers that come to you. It could be a completely formed idea or certainty about an event, a feeling that comes out of nowhere. I find I just get random words or song lyrics that pop into my head. Clairolfactory, psychic smelling. So this will register in your mind as an actual smell, often reminding you of a person, but it could also be a place. Common smells are perfume or cologne of a loved one who has passed, smelling flowers, smoke, tobacco. Recently, for me, I've been smelling what reminded me of the root cellar in my grandmother's house back in Ontario. Some people can also smell colors, sounds, or even illnesses or diseases in other people. And spirits like to use psychic smelling as a way to communicate through mediums. The next one is clairgustance. I always pronounce that one wrong, so I hope I said it right. Psychic tasting. So this will register in your mind as an actual taste and it will trigger a memory or an awareness. So think about things, the saying like that put a bad taste in my mouth. So some people can taste colors, sounds, or even illnesses or diseases again. Um, I've heard, because I've never witnessed this one myself, that yeah, it's not the nicest sense to have because you can get all different kinds of tastes in your mouth. Anyways, most people will have one or two clairs that show up stronger at first. The others can develop as you start to pay attention and start to heal your body. Um, so, just curious, have you ever experienced one of these, like a gut feeling, a vivid dream, hearing a lyric at the exact right time? I'd love to know what you guys have experienced. Drop something in the chat and let's see what we've experienced. Cool, Tiffany. Wait, awesome.
I'm Another thing that I'm going to connect with that I don't use in my dental is obviously the change in taste or smell
Yeah.
that we can get. We generally ask that if when I do my oral cancer screenings with people, and that's just one of the things that I do, but
Yeah.
also to dive deeper sometimes with clients when they might have that, because I do talk about meridians when we have teeth pain sometime that,
Yeah.
like, I've had people get fillings, perio cleanings, extractions, and they still have the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I look into the meridians and it's actually connected to a tooth in another area that they have a problem with too, different sides of their mouth, top and bottom. So I'm
Yeah.
like, there's something spiritual there that we missed.
Oh,
Never
very
thought
much so.
the tongue with the taste. So that's something else that I could add to my toolbox so much.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you and I have also talked about in the past too how the teeth can also link to different organs in your body, right? It's all connected.
Mhm.
And it's the same
Exactly.
thing. Like even if you've had like an organ removed, you can still have pain there because you could be holding on to other things there, like energies or stories or emotions. So even when you remove what you think is causing the pain, you still might have the pain because you haven't dealt with the emotional or the metaphysical aspect of it, which is also kind of cool because once you do that, then you can really take your healing to another level. All right, so cool. Thanks for sharing, Tiffany. All right, so whatever you've just recognized for yourself, whether it's a knowing, a feeling, a dream, physical sensation, keep that in mind because this is how your intuition has shown up in the past. And this is helpful because it might be how your intuition is going to speak to you today. Pay attention to what you notice because that's your starting point. Remember, your intuition is an extension, an amplification of your existing senses, which means you have access to all the clairs as you learn, grow, and heal. The other clairs have the potential to be activated. And the most important advice that I can give you guys is to have fun with it and be willing to get things wrong. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm just going to say, because now we're going to start to play. This is the fun part. I'm going to turn my video back on, and hopefully Tiffany will come back on camera and play with me. And Katie, if she can. All right, so we're going to play a couple games and we're just going to see how much time we have. Oh, what was the first of the five that I shared? Okay, let me go back. Psychic seeing, clairvoyance. So that's when you see, you could see symbols or stuff in your mind's eye, or you might constantly see, say, like 11:11 on the clock, or 1:11, 2:22, where you're seeing maybe a lot of visual thoughts. For me, I'm very vivid dreamer, so I get a lot of stuff in my dreams, and I also see the numbers a lot. So usually now when I see those numbers come up on the clock, I'll pause and I'll try and reflect on what I was thinking at the time when I saw that number, and it usually connects. It's usually a sign or a synchronicity to tell me that I'm on the right path. So yeah. And if you'd like, Tiffany, I can give you a listing of all of those if people want that, just so that they have an overview.
Yeah, sure. We are recording this as well. So if someone
Yeah,
reads
so they'll
through it,
have that as well. Yeah.
so they can have the recording, so they have that there. Yeah.
Okay.
And I just
So
thought I'd put it in
yeah,
there if Katie wanted to,
yeah, definitely unmute and ask your questions. That's fine.
yeah, if
All
you wanted
right.
to.
So to have a little fun, because the one thing that I've been learning as the more serious I take this, the harder it is for me to access my intuition. The logical brain wants to take over and talk you out of it. So you actually want to get out of the logic brain and allow the intuition to flow. So that's what we're kind of going to do right now. So I am going to show you three different colors of Post-it notes. And for each color, I'm going to ask you to focus in on it, close your eyes for a second, and see what pops up in your awareness. So you might get a feeling, you might get a taste in your mouth, you might get a memory, you might get a smell, whatever it is. Right or wrong doesn't really matter. Usually the first thought is your intuition within the first 3 to 10 seconds. So don't override it. So I'm going to show you the color first. Then I want you to reflect on what you get and just kind of take note of it. Okay. So are we ready? Here's the first color. It's hard to see, but it is pink. So you can close your eyes and just like see what your intuition's giving you for the color pink. And when you have it, you can drop it in the chat box or come off mute and let me know what's coming up for you. Again, there's no right or wrong answers. What you get is what you get.
Um, for me, I do not see things. I cannot visualize things. I can't even go through guided meditations and see. Like that is not on for me at
Okay,
all. But
that's
looking
okay.
at it, like I thought blue before you even pulled out a color. And it's funny because when I looked at the pink, I thought baby girl. And so I just thought about baby boy, baby girl. So I don't
Yeah,
know that mother intuition thing, but I thought about a baby
yeah,
girl.
yeah. There's no right or wrong. Like I've had one person when I've done this before, she wanted to throw up when she saw pink. She had a visceral reaction to pink and she has her whole life. I'm like, okay, so that's how your intuition's identifying that. And I said, so just keep this in your back of the mind because we're going to get to another exercise where you're going to have to try and figure out what color I have in a folder. So, all right. So this next color is kind of like a lemon, lime, yellowy, green, whatever you want to call it. So again, if you're not visual, that's fine. It could be a feeling, a thought, a sensation. Maybe your body tingles, maybe your body repulses. Maybe it's a taste. Who knows? What'd you get, Tiffany? I saw something come up on your face.
Yeah, it was sun. It was like
Mm.
sunshine blasting. And then I just felt like my chest and my shoulders getting warm.
Yeah, I could kind
Right?
of
It's like
see
I
you.
could,
I could kind of see you go
oh,
back.
oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was cool. Awesome. All right. So then the last color is this kind of blue. So when you said blue before, I kind of chuckled because I do have blue here. So you're already tapping into my colors that I have here. So again, do the same thing with the blue and just take a note of whatever comes up for you. And when you've got it, just let me know. Does
I
that
got it.
sound?
I got it immediately, but I want to wait and allow Katie to feel, hear,
Yeah.
taste, whatever.
Yeah.
Claire, she could be working with, and I don't want to interrupt her communication with herself.
Yeah. Katie, give us a thumbs up when you're ready. Okay. So I'm going
I'll
to,
go now. I don't want to interrupt her, but
yeah.
for the sake of the recording,
Yeah.
because people can
Oh,
pause and take more time. Oh, perfect. So I'm
yeah.
going to say, because I don't want to rush this either, because
Yeah.
like more people have registered that and have reached out that can't attend tonight.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to record this because this is really fun and interesting. And I'm learning things and I'm
Yeah.
implementing things in my head. Um, so that's really great. But yeah, people can pause and
Yeah.
take more time if they want to sit with this too. If you're watching the recording, like
Yeah.
please do.
Yeah.
Um, Immediately, as soon as I saw the blue, I thought of a robin's egg. And then I
Okay.
just thought about the boy and the girl and the baby boy and the baby girl and a robin's egg
Yeah.
and birth. And it's like
Yeah.
I
Cool.
feel like there's a lot of like mama type
Yeah.
stuff.
There you
So
go. All right. So keep all of that in mind because now I've got one of those colors hidden in this purple folder. So close your eyes for a few seconds and see if you can figure out which color post-it is in here based on whatever you're picking up. And I'll reveal it in a couple of seconds. You can give me a thumbs up or type it in the chat what you think it is.
I have to go with blue. I was like, I just have to. It was the first color I thought of.
And like I said, be willing to be wrong, right? That's the way we learn
Yeah.
because if we're wrong, then we go, oh, okay, that's what that meant.
Yeah.
Katie, do you have a guess? And don't worry, I didn't trick anybody. It's one of the three, perhaps pink. Okay, cool. All right, so
Is it blue?
blue.
Okay, because it looked different on the with the purple background.
Yeah,
I will say this out there. I did not see that before, have any, I didn't even know what game we were playing today.
yeah. I did not tell her what we were
No.
doing. So there we go. So yeah, that one's blue. Okay, we can try. I've got one more. We can try it again because I do want
And
to get
it's
to the
and
next
I'm
section.
also like luck or I don't, who knows, right? But like I don't know, kind of neat.
All right. So it's a pink folder, but guess
Mhm.
the color inside.
I have to say yellow because when I thought blue, I was like, no, I'm gonna say blue. Like that's what I felt with first. I'm like, but bright sunny. I was like, just like yellow. I was like, ah.
Yeah. All right. Does Katie have a? I'll give everybody a hint. The longer you try and think about it, the more your logic brain is going to take over. So usually trying to get something out within the first 10 seconds, even if it's going to be wrong, just start throwing out whatever's popping in your head. And when anytime I've overridden my thought is when I was right. Blue again.
Yep.
Yellow. So it looks like Tiffany's
Oh,
2 for 2 today. But good job, Katie. It's just
uh,
all practice. It's all practice. Another way,
honestly, I usually don't get things right.
another way that you can practice with this is with a deck of cards, and you can just, pick up one and red, black. Is it red or black? And then just flip it. Just keep flipping like really quickly, red, black, and see which one, how many you get right.
Is there something behind this on like, oh, it's just luck, or is there something to that? Because I don't really even get this world. Like this part of my world is kind of coming together with
It's
science, with my science brain, and trying to open up to this is
Yeah.
really
So our bodies are able to pick up so many different. So there is science behind it. Science is still catching up. We'll say that. Okay. So there are a lot of different dimensions that our bodies are able to pick up on, different frequencies and energy. Everything's energy. And it's really just about learning to, like I say, shut that logical brain off and let the other side of your brain, the creative, the higher self, come through. And for those of you, like I was an accountant, so I get you. Trying to shut that logic brain off for me is hard because I'll sit there and go, oh, well, that can't be right. And anytime I've done that, I am right. And I surprise myself. And I've had some of my peers in some of the courses I'm taking tell me that I'm very intuitive. And I'm like, really? But then I'll pull stuff out of the blue and I'll go, where did that come from? I couldn't have known that. Right. So some messages that I've had come through and stuff like that, it's just wild. But it's just like any other muscle in your body that you're trying to strengthen. Repetition, repetition. And the more that you can play and have fun with it, you have kids, Tiffany, you can play this post-it note game with them. You could cut up little squares of paper, construction paper, and do that. You could do it with crystals. You could have like a bag of crystals with all different colors and have them pull one out in their hand, and everybody takes a turn to guess what color crystals in your hand. And kids are very good at it because they don't overthink. So one tip I can give you is you can actually say to your logic brain or your ego, step aside. That's what I do. Ego, step aside. You're now observing. You're going to sit over here on my right hand side while I tune into this. And that's where the breathing comes in because we want to get relaxed. If we're too stressed, if we're in a hurry, if we're rushing about, we're not going to be able to tap into this, or you're not going to get the right answers. So when we start and taking those breaths, slowing down, pausing, intuitive writing can help, drawing, painting, anything creative because it helps to turn off that logic brain, meditating, going out for a walk in nature without being plugged in to electronics. All of that's going to help you connect. And nature can be very grounding and can really help you develop your intuition as well, because everything will talk to you if you listen, which is the cool thing. There's just so many, like our body is waiting to tell us so much. We just need to be ready to listen. And we can heal ourselves from almost anything if we start to listen and tune in and start focusing on those foundations and doing baby steps and really, there's no limit.
right.
Only the limit we set for
Even
ourselves.
Yeah, even just thinking about your first couple slides, and the one bottom one was something in belief. And belief, like we have a term for that in the medical world, and it's called placebo,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? It is an actual scientifically proven thing that,
Yeah.
if you believe it, it will work. And if you believe it won't, it won't. Like the nocebo and the
Exactly.
placebo. And yeah, just yeah,
Yeah. Our
kind of
our our
captures.
minds, like as my mentor and coach likes to say, that, we're just walking around in these 3D bodies. This is how we've chosen to walk around. We're really energy, right? And so it's like connecting back into that higher self and into that spirit or God or whatever you want to call it. It's there for all of us if we want it. Now it's not for everybody, and that's fine, right?
We all have our time and our place. Like we have our journey that we're on.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And
yeah.
speaking of journey, I would like to take everybody on a little bit of a guided journaling exercise. So if everybody has a pen and some paper, we're going to do some reflection. I'm going to ask you guys some questions, and we're going to think about a couple different scenarios, because there's a reason why everybody wanted to come tonight. Probably either you're worried about your breathing or maybe something else with your health. And so we're going to just start trying to tap into our body to see what our next right step is. Okay. And so this is just, like I said, a short little exercise to help you feel what alignment might look like in your own life. It's not going to be complicated. It's just simply a chance for you to tune in and check in with yourself and see if you can figure out what your body is trying to tell you. We're going to see if we can get your next right step. This is an awareness exercise. It's not a prediction. It's not a projection. Again, it's just noticing what your body is trying to tell you. So grab your pen and some paper or a journal. Absolutely no pressure. This is your time to explore. It's your space to explore. I'm going to give you a few questions to think about, and whatever comes up for you, write it down. It could be a thought, a feeling, an emotion, an image. There's no right or wrong answer. This is what's coming to you. So I invite you to close your eyes for a second and take another deep breath in through your nose, and this time out through your mouth. And I want you to think back to the reason why you showed up for this webinar today. Was there a specific outcome that you wanted to achieve? An answer you wanted to get? Is there a health concern that you wanted help with? What symptoms are you currently experiencing? Take a moment now to jot down whatever comes to mind. And once you've written that down, close your eyes again. Take another deep breath. And I'd like you to picture yourself a month from now. It's the beginning of December, and you've made the decision not to make any changes in your health. How do you feel? How does your body feel? What symptoms are you experiencing? Has anything changed in your body? Take a moment to sit with the questions and see what your body shows you. Again, it might be a feeling, a thought, an image, a symbol. Whatever comes to mind, just jot it down. And once you've got that written down, if you'd like to share in the chat what came up, please feel free to drop it in there. And if not, that's okay too. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready.
Um, I will share something that it's I know better, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Um, I absolutely know better. I have been through like my spiritual world and like I said, God, whatever you want to call your divine,
Hmm.
wherever you want. Every time, it doesn't matter if I go more churchy and exploring different religion or whether it's I go more spiritual and explore like tarot cards or something. Everything always comes back to shut out the outside world.
Mm.
And it's come up so many times for me. And I thought like the reason I wanted to do this is because the results that I get with people aren't just the one thing that I'm doing, but it's so holistic. And I, it's part ego because when I can really help people, it makes me feel really, really good. And so I want to find different ways to help people. And I find that when I have a free moment, I'm getting on, I'm trying to learn more, trying
Mm.
to, help more people instead of just letting the process be. And it's always, I have to just stop and meditate and feel I have to relax because if I don't fill up my cup, I will not be here to fill up other people's, even though I think I'm doing it. I think I'm doing it by sharing information. I'm not because I'm slowly taking from
Yeah.
myself and I
Yeah.
am seeing it in my skin a
Okay.
lot.
Interesting.
So I'm not detoxifying as
Interesting.
well as I should be. My digestion is fine, my breath is fine. At sleep, if you're not sleeping, then the brain is not detoxifying and you end up with more brain fog and then you're going more and more. So it's like that detoxification pathway is so important.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's not necessarily, like the main pillars. It's actually like just stop. It's okay to stop. Meditate, breathe like
Yeah.
purposely at a
Yeah.
time.
I'd say
So.
that yeah, I would say it ties into spiritual in the morphogenetic field for you there.
Yeah.
There might be something there to clear. I just kind of had a ping. So we'll chat later. All right. So I'm going to take you through the second part of this now. So again, just take another deep breath, close your eyes, and just release everything that came up. All right. Remember, it's not a prediction. You're going to get comfortable again. And this time, we're going to picture yourself a month from now. But this time, you've decided to make a change to your health and you've taken some steps forward, whatever those might be. So, how do you feel? How does your body feel? What symptoms are you experiencing? Has anything changed in your body? Take a moment to sit with the questions and see what your body shows you. And when you have it, make a note in your journal. Pause if you need to. And when you're ready, feel free to share it in the chat, whatever came up.
For me, the main thing was the work will always be there. The thing is, the time that I spend on work and not paying attention maybe to my family the same way, my kids will never be the same as they are right now.
Yeah.
They're 3 and 5. They're going to evolve way faster than the work will and everything. So it's like cherish the time. It's a gift.
Yeah. And how did you feel when how'd your body feel when you got that thought, like cherish the time?
I don't know. I actually don't
Yeah.
know. I think it was my logical brain. Now
Yeah.
come to think about it, I don't think there was a feeling attached
Yeah.
to it,
You
but
might you
like,
might want to ponder that. So that's fine.
okay.
Because the idea here is to just look at those two versions and choose which do you want. Do you want the version where you don't make any changes, because that's a choice to continue on as you are right now, or you can make the choice to start taking one step forward on that new path. Whatever you do, choose one or the other. Don't sit in the middle, because
Because
then you
neither is wrong. Neither
neither
is
is wrong.
wrong, right? No.
Whatever's right for you in this moment, whatever your body is telling you in this moment, and let the other path go, because otherwise you're just going to ruminate on it, and that's going to cause more issues. Again, no right or wrong answers, no judgment. So, whenever you've got your answer as to which path you want to go on, ask your body, what is the next right step I can take to move me or to move us in this direction? So, it could be one of the foundations of health that we already talked about. And I will tell you to make the step small. Don't say, I'm going to go out and run a marathon if you've never run more than 5K. It might be to get off the couch and start moving 15 minutes a day. It could be drinking more water. It could be getting outside in the sun for 15 minutes a day. Whether or not you can see the sun or not, you're still getting sunshine. So, again, something small to move you in the direction that you want to go. If you chose to do nothing, then your step might be continue doing what I'm doing. And if you'd love to share that step, feel free.
See any comments in here, but I don't know if Katie wants to pop in and share anything. I don't want to steal the mic. I just
All right. So while you're checking that, I'm just going to actually drop in the chat box um, contact information for me, as well as a link to my calendar. So that's pretty much all I had for today. We've done a lot. You paused, you breathed, we listened, and you gave your body a voice. And that's where change begins. So if something clicked for you tonight, if you're ready to explore next steps, I'd love to talk with you. I do offer free 30-minute chats for anybody who's interested in possibly working together. It's really low pressure. It's not a sales call. It's just a let me see if I can help you in that 30 minutes. Let's see if there's a fit. And if there is, then we move on to whether or not you want to work with me one-on-one, or I've also started a women's circle here in Pasadena. It's in person, but I'm also working on an online option coming soon. So there are multiple options. I've also listed my Instagram and my LinkedIn there that Tiffany's, feel free to share that. And that's it. No pressure, no sales pitch, just support. And I'm open if there's any questions.
I don't see anything in the chat.
No. Oh, I forgot to hit enter. There, it helps
Oh,
if I
there you
hit
go.
enter.
Okay. I was like, I don't see it in the chat. Um,
And I would just love, like, if anybody has any questions or takeaways or anything else. I also love to celebrate wins. So by showing up and watching this, that's a win. Pat yourself on the back, celebrate it. And thank you again, Tiffany, for having me. This was fun. I hope you guys had fun too.
I, I loved this. This was so good.
Awesome.
I don't know if the chat comes up in the recordings or not. So
No,
if
probably
not,
not.
anybody who is watching this, you can reach out to myself or Michelle Connery, and it's Coach Michelle Connery on Instagram.
Yeah,
So if you don't have the link to like her booking calendar, and you can go there, or if you just want to go check her out on Instagram, what she's having to say, LinkedIn, Michelle Connery. So make sure you can check out her and whatever medium works good for you. Medium, interesting, because like we're connecting and like everything is a medium, everything is energy. Um,
it is. Yes.
so it's a way to, yeah, so a way to connect with her, and you can reach out to me as well. I can share information if you can't find her. I can put you in communication with her.
Yeah.
And definitely reach out to me. Let me know what you thought about this, if you'd like to see more of this, if there's any other area that you would be interested in. Men's mental health and anxiety, um, sleep, nutrition. We got the intuition. We could try a women's circle, potentially if my crowd of people is interested in getting together. I would definitely, like I said, this is just one step. And
Mhm.
so putting the right people in the right places, is always great. And so I would love the feedback as well. I'll share with Michelle and yeah, want to thank you guys all for being here. And before we go, yeah, any questions? I didn't, I don't feel like the questions that I was given make sense
Okay. Yeah.
um, in this session.
Context.
So if you're watching this and you sent me a question, see if it was answered for you. And if not, you can reach out to Michelle and you can ask a little bit
Yeah.
differently or reach out to me if it falls into my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll just send you to her because I won't know the answer. I don't know. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. I don't have to know the answers. You just have to be able to send people in the right direction.
Yeah.
So thank you so much again, Michelle.
You're welcome.
So we got thanks from Katie as well. And I will stop recording this and I will say goodnight. Enjoy your dreams tonight. Maybe that's a good way to finish off. Enjoy your dreams tonight because they could be
Hmm.
more active.
Yes, they could.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Goodbye. Where do I stop